Last week I did some training with Oxford University and the Royal London Foxes. Towards the end of our session, the wind dropped to less than 5 knots and we trained in ultralight conditions for over an hour. Fireflies are great at maintaining momentum even when the wind is low, and if you're able to handle your boat properly in these conditions, then you'll be prepared for big pressure drops during races and you can improve your technique ready for normal light wind racing conditions. Harley, a former Exeter University first team sailor, and Naomi, a current Southampton University sailor, had great downwind speed throughout the session and agreed to demonstrate some of their jibes as we were heading in. Here are some of my favourites. Despite the lake looking like a mirror, Harley and Naomi keep the sails filled throughout and keep the momentum on. When sailing in light conditions, it takes much longer than normal to accelerate, so your primary focus when racing has to be on keeping the boat moving, even if this means that it's much tougher to pull off team racing moves like mark traps that require you to slow the boat. Rule 42 also prevents you gaining speed out of tacks and jibes, but does not prevent you from maintaining speed. So big roll tacks and jibes can be used to keep the speed on in light patches and maintain flow over your foils when you feel the boat just starting to stall out. In very light conditions, when the jib cannot goose wing, Fireflies sail much better at an angle slightly off the wind, which also allows you to turn the boat through a much bigger jibe angle and generate more roll. The jibe is initiated with windward heel, and without any wind to fill the sails, the boom will quickly swing over, so it's important to steer a little more assertively than you normally would in light wind in order to get the boat turning. In a couple knots more breeze, you can use much less rudder than this. The main sheet can be brought in slightly to fill the sails and bring the boom properly off the shrouds. The tiller main sheet hand swap takes place as the helm crosses the boat, whilst the crew stays to leeward to avoid over-rolling the boat. If you over-roll the boat, the sails will swing to windward and collapse, and the boat can stall. The board should be fully down, and make sure you have a small amount of kicker on, or the boom can come off the gooseneck. The most important part of a roll jibe is the flatten. Even if you've lost some speed steering into the jibe, you can flatten to re-accelerate the boat back to the same speed you were before the jibe. The main should be around 2/3 to 3/4 of the way out as you exit the jibe. If you try to let the main out the whole way, the boom won't cross the boat fast enough and you can't get a decent pump. Also, the pump out the jibe will bring your apparent wind much further forwards, so if your main is all the way out, it's going to act as a brake. It's not going to allow you to pump out of that jibe quite as effectively as you want. All of your movement should be super smooth, with a press as you sit down, led with your shoulders, which will cause the boat to just squirt forwards. Try to straighten the tiller as you press so that all the speed you gain goes into forward motion rather than turning motion through the rudder. The crew can also pump the jib in as the boat flattens to keep it filled and propel the boat forwards out of the manoeuvre. If you need to double jibe, the crew should move through the first jibe to assist the helm with the flatten. This will cause a lot of overroll, which bears the boat away into the second jibe. Through the second jibe, the crew can return to their normal position out of the manoeuvre. I hope this video was helpful and you enjoyed watching these jibes. Like and subscribe for more tips and comment down below if you have any questions or feedback.